For today's project, I wanted to run down to Michael's and grab 2 of their crates. I want to put the 2 of them together, but when I hang them on the wall, I don't want them to look like crates. So what I'm going to do is take off some of the slats. Now, they are kind of gentle, so you want to be careful when you're pulling them up. Just use a screwdriver to pull them apart on one end, and then just work your way on each side back and forth and pull up the other slats. I'm going to do this on one of each side, and I'm going to do it on the back and take away half of the back slats. That way it gives it more of an open look. Now I need to join the 2 together, so the best thing to do is wood glue. I'm going to go ahead and spread it out along the 2 slats on each side that are still there, and then use my finger to rub it out. You want to make sure that you spread it out because the glue then can drip when you join it together. Once I got it all settled, I'm going to join the 2 crates together, but there might be a gap. So I'm just going to grab some clamps and put them together. That will hold it, and then I want to use a pin nailer and drive some pins right into the slats. They're really small and it's hard to see, especially once we stain it. Again, grab some glue, and I'm going to put those slats that I pulled off and remove the staples and put them on the front. I'm going to spread them just even enough that I could put some towels in there. Once I get the first slat put on, I'm going to go ahead and put the next one on also. Again, using my pin nailer just to hold it in place till the glue dries. Then it's time to go ahead and put some shelves in. First thing I'm going to do though is go ahead and put a runner down the side with more of the wood that I put apart and pin nail that into place. Once I get that done, then I can put one on the back and then start building my shelf. It's again back to the saw, and I'm going to cut them to equal length. I have enough to put 4 of these on, so I'm going to space them as evenly as I can using the pin nailer to put them back in place again. Once I get all these shelves on, it's going to really start looking good, and it gives it kind of a better look than just putting 2 crates together. Once I get that shelf together, then I got to put a hook on the back, 2 of them, to hang it from. A picture hook will do just great and to get it nailed in. Once that's done, I'm going to grab my favorite wood stain, which is walnut, and I'm going to go ahead and just start spreading it out. Now, I don't use a brush. I do use a towel because I feel like I can get some better penetration with it. Once I get it all smoothed out, and I got to make sure also that I don't put too much on. If I do, I can always wipe off the excess. But using a towel, it's really good because look at that grain. It's just really starting to pop. Now, once I get this stain on and I let it dry, it's time to put it on the wall and decorate it. And it just fit perfectly right where I need it in the guest bathroom. I think it turned out amazing, and it's nice to have a shelf and place to put the towels.
When guests are on the way, these are the bathroom hacks I count on. First up, turn off the light in your bathroom before you clean your mirror. This will keep the heat from the bulb from drying out the product too fast and help you get that perfect streak-free finish every time. And this toilet paper basket is okay, but we can do better with some simple napkins. I spread them out on a flat surface, in this case the toilet seat, and simply wrap the toilet paper in it. Because my napkins were a little bit smaller, I used 2 to make sure I got full coverage. And my plain toilet paper looks beautiful for my guests. Probably my favorite thing about this hack is that these napkins are literally from the dollar store, and you can swap them out for any season or even holidays. If you don't have pretty napkins though, here's a toilet paper hack that's just as beautiful. Take 3 pieces of toilet paper and set them to the side. Then fold a triangle in the first piece that's still attached to your toilet paper roll. Set that aside and now start scrunching the loose pieces of toilet paper from opposite corners in. Do this for all 3 pieces of toilet paper, then place them over the folded part. Now turn on your faucet and let it run for a few seconds. Once it's off again, press the toilet paper roll and the leaves into the wet spout. Let it sit for a few seconds so it can soak through, and you'll end up with this beautiful flower design. It's an easy hack with high impact, and I've had so many guests comment on how much they love it. Our bathroom hand towels are always on the verge of falling off, so I started doing this instead. I'll fold my towel lengthwise, then I'll create a loop through which I'll feed the ends of the towel over the holder. Just a little fluffing, and now my towels aren't going anywhere. And here's a bathroom hack your guests will thank you for. Starting with a 4-ounce bottle, I'm adding some of these dried blooms from a bouquet my husband got me. Next, I added 2 fluid ounces of rubbing alcohol. I did it over the sink because it was kind of messy, along with 2 tablespoons of vegetable glycerin. I added 30 to 40 drops of my favorite essential oil and then filled it up the rest of the way with filtered water. After giving it a good shake, I now had homemade potpourri that doesn't use any weird chemicals, and it leaves the bathroom smelling great when you go. My baseboards are covered in scuffs like this, and I thought I was gonna have to repaint them. But instead, I grabbed some dryer sheets out of my laundry room. These work great as makeshift dusters to remove the dust from the ridges of the baseboard. And I've always used these on walls, but I never thought to use one on a baseboard. I took it to my sink, ran it in water, and squeezed out the excess. Going back to my baseboard, I barely had to apply any pressure to get the mark right off. While I was there, I went ahead and cleaned off the rest of the scuffs on the wall. And I couldn't believe how a dryer sheet and a magic eraser made my baseboards look brand new. No painting necessary.
On updating this bathroom, and the one thing it was really missing was a hand towel rack. Today, let's make a budget-friendly DIY that brings a high-end vibe without the high-end price. But instead of spending a fortune, I pulled this together with scrap wood, dollar store supplies, and a purse handle from Amazon. First, I dug around for a handful of scrap wood pieces from my cutoff bin. Continuing to dig around in my stash of supplies, I found some wired jute which came from the dollar store. To start, I wrapped the wired jute around the purse handle and gave it a tight twist. I used painter's tape at the other end of the jute to keep it from fraying while I worked. I did keep the full length of the twine just to ensure that when I did cut it, I had enough length. Then, I slid each wood piece onto the jute, stacking them in a playful geometric arrangement. As I went, I used small dabs of hot glue to hold the pieces in place exactly how and where I wanted them, so they wouldn't shift or spin around. Once the design was together and everything assembled, upstairs I went to the bathroom where I was hanging this cool piece of functional art. I measured by eye and cut the wired jute to length using wire cutters, twisted the end around into a loop, then hung the whole thing from a nail in the wall. It could just as easily hang from the ceiling or also a bracket attached to the wall. The best part about this DIY is how versatile it is. You can customize the wood pieces however you want. Paint them, stain them, leave them natural, and switch out the handle for any style or color you like.
We are going to start off this craft by going and grabbing some RIT dye. I chose red. After looking through the entire craft store, I actually couldn't find any molds for the soap dish, so I had to go and buy the silicone mold online, which is fine because silicone molds are durable and also reusable. On top of making the soap dish, I also want to make something that's going to hold my toothbrush and toothpaste. This uncured vase is going to be great, and this is uncured concrete, which I can go and dye with RIT dye. So let's go and make our soap dish. Now, concrete can sometimes have some pretty big particles in it. You can see there's some large stone that is here, which you need to go and try to get out. If you're going and just making like slabs or something, usually a lot of this rock is fine to keep in there, but we don't want that, so I'm going to go and sift out all of these large pieces and put them off to the side after I go and sift them. This is going to take a good amount of time, but definitely save the rocks. You can always mix this back in and use it for something else. So I have about 1.5 cups of concrete now. And I'm going to go and divide the concrete up. So this container here, I'm going to be putting about 1 cup into of the concrete that is just the powdered concrete, which is so incredibly messy and really can get into the air. So make sure you do this in a very well ventilated area. And I'm wearing gloves throughout this entire process just so I don't go and get really anything stuck under my nails and I don't have any sort of reaction. The smaller container, I'm now going to go and add some of the RIT dye to. What I'm doing first is I'm taking some RIT dye, putting it into just a little metal saucer, mixing it around in some water, and now I'm going to go and add very small amounts to the concrete that I have off to the side here. When you're mixing this in and you add water to this, you want to make sure it's not too soupy. You can also add just color in after you do initially get it wet, mix it up a little bit more, and this should have almost an oatmeal-like consistency. If it doesn't have that consistency that you want, you can always go and add more of the concrete in. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go and paint the concrete into your mold. You want to really paint it in there. I'm using a sculpting tool that has an edge to it, so it's going to be easier to go and fit into some of the cracks here. Now onto the next container of concrete. Again, I'm adding some water in very slowly, and if you do want this to set faster, you will want to use some water that is warmer, just not hot, because if you use hot water, this will actually weaken it. So again, what you're going to do is add very small amounts of water in, mix it up, and this should have the consistency of almost oatmeal as well. You don't want to overwater this. The concrete that you already put down with the dye in, you can go and dab it a little bit to take off some of the extra color, so it doesn't really go and mix too much, and I do definitely suggest this if you don't want to have this mix a ton. If you do, you don't have to go and wipe off any of the extra liquid that has came out. From here, what you're going to go and do is now you're going to go and put the concrete that you went and just mixed, pat it in, really use your fingers, and again, I do have gloves on my hands because it's a bit safer to go and do this. You don't want to just touch it, and after it's fully filled, tap the sides to get out some of the air bubbles. While that dries, I'm going to go and dye this concrete container. Again, this is uncured concrete, so what I can do is I can just go and put this onto here and add some water, and then after it is sat for a couple of hours, go and rinse it off, and you'll see in a minute what it looks like. Now this has set fully. It can take about 24 to 48 hours for this to fully and totally set, and when you do remove this from the mold, you want to go nice and slow so you don't end up breaking it. I actually did break a couple of them when I made this video. And now that it is set, you can go and put soap into the center. This lovely accent to your bathroom is honestly really cool, very pretty, and the lightly dyed toothbrush holder really ties it all together.